So tonight I'm pretty tired. I'm not going to say anything extra. I'm not going to be like all theatrical. But my dogs used to see dead people. It freaks me the hell out. I still think about it all the time. By the way, here's a message from your Oklahoma Tea Time official. No. Yes. Yes. Definitely extra sweet, but my personal favorite. All right, now that sponsorship's out of the way, we're going to talk about how my dogs used to see this dead dude all the time, and it used to scare the absolute crap out of me. So my childhood home that I grew up in, before we moved in there, the previous owners before we moved there, he hung himself off the storage building that's set in the back of the yard. So, of course, my parents, we had it removed and everything, but you could still see the perfect square, like where the foundation of this storage unit was, that he hung himself from a rafter off the front of it. And anyhow, I had these two dogs. They were golden retrievers. They were really cool. Their names were Titan and Kylan. And anyhow, I'd walk them in the late afternoons. It'd be dark by the time I'd get back from this walk. And once every other week, they would look over in that corner of the yard and they'd get really pissy, and their hair would stand up, and they'd bare their teeth and they'd get all upset. And then they would actually go walk over to the storage, because I used to think they were looking at the bushes behind this thing, but then they would go sit, they would literally get on their hind legs, and they would look up to where, if that beam was still that's where that dude would have been hanging from. And they would look at it, and they would just growl and snarl and snap and just go ballistic for minutes straight. And then it would be a switch would just flip, and they'd go right back to being calm, like nothing just happened. And then they would just, go back into their fenced in area. And that was a long time ago. I was a teenager when that was happening, and I still think about it all the time. I'm so amazed by what our animals are probably tuned into, that we have no idea is going on around us all the time. Were they sensing the trauma that happened there? Were they seeing him still there? I don't know, but I just know it just shows me that there's more to our world than we'll ever understand, because those dogs wouldn't have known that that's where he did that at. It's not like they're understanding. If they heard us talking about it, and it just creeps me out. Want to hear your thoughts on that. This is one of the scariest stories that comes out of the Appalachian woods. I just watched a horror movie called Undertone. It was pretty scary, so tonight we are not going to be doing our normal outdoor in the dark videos. Alright, if you watched my live stream last night, I told you the story of Skin Tom. Some people wanted me to put it in an actual video so they could have it for future reference. This is one of the scariest stories that comes out of the Appalachian woods. So Skin Tom wasn't always called Skin Tom. His name was Thomas Mellick, and back in the days of the settlers, when they were pushing the Indians out of their homelands, he was one of the best trappers around. Okay, he made tons of money off of trapping animals and selling their furs. Now, he did heinous acts with the army back then against the Native Americans, and one day one of the Native American tribes actually caught Tom out while he was hunting. They returned the favor and actually skinned Tom. Now, they left him to die. If you are not familiar with how you die when you are skinned, it is not from bleeding to death. In fact, if somebody's got perfect precision, you'll hardly bleed at all. What you actually die from is hypothermia. You can actually freeze to death in 80-degree weather without your skin, because your body can't regulate its temperature anymore. So Tom slowly died a horrible, miserable death, and supposedly he walked back to his camp where his buddies actually saw him collapse right in front of them. Now, they supposedly buried Skin Tom, but he rose from the dead a few days later. Now, the story goes that Skin Tom still wanders the Appalachian woods looking for the next skin that he can take so he can wear it himself so he's no longer cold. So people often report when they're hiking alone that they feel like they're being stalked or watched. And they also report seeing a man that it appears that he has no skin over him. He's just exposed muscle with his upper torso skin just hanging down, almost like a kilt around his lower half. Skin Tom has supposedly been the reason why so many people go missing when they are alone, because like the hunter that he was, he doesn't go after groups of people. He singles them out when they're the most vulnerable. So the story of Skin Tom comes with another creepy note. If you think that he might be following you and you listen really closely, you might hear a faint whistle getting closer and closer and closer. That whistle is what you will supposedly hear before an hour of silence. And when you start to drift off to sleep, that's when he's going to make his move. Once again, like a hunter, striking when you're the most vulnerable. Hope you enjoyed the story of Skin Tom, coming to you from the shower. I am not going outside after watching Undertone. If you like these scary stories, follow our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It's called Matt from Nomads. It's October, close to Halloween, so I figured I'd share a family ghost story with y'all. So, this happened to me when I was a teenager, and I was working at Lowe's. I was a delivery driver, and we were taking a fridge into this house that was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, no neighbors in sight. Me and the other delivery driver, we try to get this fridge into this guy's house. It's the last drop of the day, so it's getting dark outside. And it wouldn't fit through his front door. I mean, this is like one of those massive refrigerators. So we had to actually take the doors off the fridge on his front porch and then turn the fridge in sideways to get it in. Well, we're standing there talking to the guy while we're taking the doors off this fridge, and he's on the inside of the house and the other side of the fridge. Me and the other delivery driver are on the porch, just squatted down, kneeling down, getting this fridge undone. It's laying down on its side. And I think the police pull up behind us because this blue light comes from seemingly nowhere. And we turn around, and I see the blue light coming at us, and I just think that it's a cop with his lights on, just, no siren rolling on us, seeing what we were doing. And I even, put my hand over my eyes a little bit. And then I realized that this light was very isolated. Like, it wasn't illuminating the whole area. It was almost like it was just a focused ball of light coming right at us. And it wasn't moving incredibly fast, but it wasn't moving slow either. Now it is past the road. It is in the yard, halfway to us across the yard. And we're all just in shock. And I remember seeing just this faint blue glow, no noise whatsoever. The only noise that's going on is his dog is losing his mind. And the dog kind of hushes and shuts up. This blue orb of light goes through the window that was next to us, through this man's house, through the back door, and just down his yard into the woods. And we were all just stunned. We all watched it without saying a word to each other. We were all just in disbelief of what we were seeing. To this day, I have no explanation of what that was, or at least I thought so, until I saw a video about ball lightning. If you look up ball lightning, it is so rare that science doesn't even really know how to explain it that well. They don't know how to recreate it in a lab setting or give it an explanation of why ball lightning happens. Apparently, it doesn't need to be storming outside for ball lightning to happen. It doesn't have a thunderous noise. It is a concentrated orb of electrons and protons, I guess. I'm not a scientist. It's so rare that it's only been videoed a handful of times. And when I saw that video of what ball lightning looks like, immediately I was like, that was it. I've been telling people for years that I had this weird phenomenon that I thought was a ghost or it was otherworldly. And who knows, maybe ball lightning is that, and science just explains it away by saying, oh, it's ball lightning, when we really don't know what ball lightning is. Apparently, if you touch it, it doesn't electrocute you, or anything that it hits doesn't get charged. It makes no sense. It's almost like it's not even really there. But anyhow, go look it up for yourself. Ball lightning. I really thought I saw a spirit of some kind or a UFO. Turns out it was just a explainable phenomenon. So it just makes me wonder if everything else that we think is supernatural is kind of supernatural, but it's just got a perfectly good explanation for it. Tell me what you think about it. Things you don't do in Oklahoma that I had to learn when I married my Native American wife. Don't whistle in the dark. In fact, just don't whistle at all. It ain't doing nothing for you. It's nighttime and you want to look out the window? No, you don't. You think you heard something in the yard going bump in the night? No, you didn't. Mind your business. You're in the woods walking around. You think you hear somebody call your name? No, you didn't. You're at home alone. It's kind of creepy. You think somebody's calling your name? No, they weren't. There's a suspicious owl hooing outside your window. Sounds like it's kind of calling to you. Don't pay any attention to it. You think you're being silly and talking to yourself at night? Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that outside. You might have noticed a recurring theme. If it's dark out, just keep your ass in the house. There ain't no reason for you to be outside. Also, there's some words you can't say. In fact, there's a lot of them. I'm going to go through a few right now. And no, I'm not talking about see you next Tuesday or the F word. I'm talking about those spiritual words. Now, I used not to believe in this stuff until I saw it firsthand. So I'm going to mouth them. I ain't going to say them out loud. Skin, little. Yeah, that stuff needs an invitation. Saying their name counts. And in case any of them boogers are on here, I claim no evil from this. I didn't say your name. I know everybody's going to keep saying it in the comments. That's on them. Go get them. I no joke heard an owl in the woods while I'm talking about this, and it is obviously daytime, and I'm scared to death right now. I should have never made this video. Now, speaking of little, those guys, if you're not native like myself, we can't see them. They just look like blue lightning bugs. So if you've ever thought you've had some strange blue lights when lightning bugs ain't out, don't go following them things into the woods. But they're probably not interested in you that much anyhow. They're looking for your kids. Some of your stuff goes missing around the house. Don't look too hard for it. Just let them have it. They'll bring it back when we're done. If you see a strange looking deer on the side of the highway, you know, it might be glitching a little bit, might not look right. That's called a knot deer. Don't go near those things. Things to watch out for in Oklahoma, especially now that it's getting warm and everybody's out and about. The first thing is the blue lightning bugs, or what the native people around here call LPs, little. I'm not going to say that out loud because that would be considered disrespectful. My wife is Native American and she has warned me many times about how we see them as blue lightning bugs, but those that are truly in tune with nature, such as medicine men and things like that, can see these entities for what they are. And they are nature spirits, but they're also nature protectors, and we are often encroaching in their areas. You should never let your children play alone in areas where you've seen blue lightning bugs. You should never let a pregnant woman go and hang out in areas where there has been blue lightning bugs sighted. The LPs are enamored with children and innocence, and sometimes they like to take that back with them to a whole other plane of existence, okay? People have talked about their children being lured into the woods or being lured away from them by these blue lights, by these blue flashing lights, because the children can see them for what they are. And a lot of times they want to go play. The children can also hear noises and songs that we can't hear. The Scottish and Irish would refer to this as the Fae, and it's Fae music, luring people away to never be seen again. Other things in Oklahoma to avoid is saying things that you shouldn't say, okay? Use acronyms if you can, like SW. Don't say those things out loud. If you hear whistling in the dark, no, you didn't. If you're whistling in the dark, it's nice knowing you, you're already gone, okay? You think you hear something outside and you want to look out your window to check it out at night? Why? Don't do that, okay? That's what it wants you to do. If you show these things attention, it gives them power, okay? So they will do things to try to get attention from you. They also can only interact with people who are spiritually open. So they'll do things to get your attention, and they know if they get a rise out of you, you're spiritually awakened enough to interact with. They can do things to you and interact with you, okay? If you act like you ignore it, they can't tell, so they're going to go on and look for a different target, okay? That's your neighbor's problem at that point. Just keep yourself safe out there, all right? And just remember, as pretty as those blue lightning bugs are, you'll notice they kind of lead away from your property. It never seems like they're coming in. They're always leading away, wanting you to follow. Don't follow the pretty blue lights.